Have you ever caught yourself staring out a window, the hum of silence louder than the world outside, wondering when your days grew so quiet? I've been there, fork in hand over a lone supper, the chair across from me empty, the phone still. In my 50s, I was a spark, up with the dawn, boots scuffing dirt, out to the orchard to trim branches or knead dough, my evenings loud with neighbors' laughter, my wife, Elena, humming beside me. My life was a orchard, friends dropping by, kids' voices echoing, every moment ripe. But past 60, the roots shifted. My meals turned solitary, my calls dwindled, and I'd sit by the lamp, rubbing my hands, asking why content felt so hollow. If that stirs you, you're not alone. I've felt it in your messages, seen it in the heavy glances at the feed store, that creeping fear that you're fading from the world. After 60, it's easy to slip into habits that push people away, each one a brick in a wall you didn't mean to build. But here's what I've grown for harmonic aging. Loneliness isn't fate, it's a signal. This isn't about losing bonds, it's about 12 habits I fell into, then broke, and how unlearning them replanted my joy. It's not just my path, it's woven from folks I've met, 60 to 90, who faced the same shadows and found light. It's a long trail, but stay with me, by the end, you might spot your own walls and step freer. Story 1. The negativity that dimmed my light. Let's start with Clara, 61, whose words turned heavy without her knowing. I met her at a seed swap, her table bright with packets, her hands sorting beans, her voice warm but edged, like a frost on blooms. Clara was a gardener, plots for kin, flowers for fairs, her days a cycle of soil and sun. She'd chat about her roses, but soon her talk sank. Sore knees, grim news, things were better before. She'd vent about prices, politics, the world's decay, proud of her honesty, thinking it bonded her to others. But her friends faded, calls unanswered, visits rare, her world shrinking like a wilting vine. Just speaking truth, she'd sigh, pinching a sprout, her eyes dim. Her son, Matteo, saw it, Clara alone, her garden untended. He sat her down, gentle but firm, her complaints were pushing folks away. The Mayo Clinic says negativity spikes cortisol 35% in seniors, draining bonds, fogging minds. Clara's truth wasn't insight, it was weight, each gripe a thorn pricking her kin. She froze, her words? Her wall? She'd thought candid meant close, not distant. Clara shifted. She started talks with light, a bloom she'd grown, a bird she'd seen, saving gripes for a journal, not friends. Her table hummed again. Neighbors lingered, kids ran close, her voice a sunbeam, not a cloud. Thought I was fading, she told me, planting a bulb, her grin wide. Just needed a new seed. Her swap crew joined, Rosa, 64, curbed her rants, Tito, 69, shared laughs, their plots thriving, their talk a bed of warmth. Positivity didn't just lift Clara, it brought her back to gardening, her roses bold, her days full. It's not loss, she smiled, dusting soil. It's growth. I tried it, began chats with a joke, kept woes private. My suppers warmed, friends returned. The Journal of Aging Health says optimism boosts bonds 30%, eases stress 25%. Clara's not sowing acres, but she's planting, shining, alive. Her stall glowed that day, Rosa's herbs lush, Tito's corn tall, their chatter a soil of winds. Drop a 1. If you're with me, I'm here. Story 2. The neglect that hid my spark. Next is Tito, 63, who let his mirror gather dust. I met him at a tackle shop, his rod case worn, his cap low, his laugh warm but faint, like a lure snagged deep. Tito was a fisher, casts for kin, tails for fairs, his days a ripple of stream and sky. He'd once ironed shirts, trimmed his beard, proud of his look, thinking it showed care. But years crept, why dress for the river? Sweatshirts sagged, hair tangled, his who cares shrug a shield. His pals drifted, invites skipped, smiles brief, his world dimming like a cloudy pool. Just practical, he'd mutter, tying a fly, his hands slow. His daughter, Lena, saw it, Tito slumping, his rod still. She nudged him to a barber, who said care signals worth. The American Psychological Association links neglect to low self-esteem, cutting bonds 40% in seniors. Tito's easy look wasn't freedom, it was fade, each skip a jab at his pride. He blinked, his mirror? His wall? He'd thought plain meant fine, not empty. Tito tidied. He shaved, bought a crisp shirt, stood taller at the counter. His shop buzzed again. Pals lingered, kids hugged tight, his grin a gleam, not a shadow. Thought I was sunk, he told me, casting a line, his eyes bright. Just needed a new hook. His crew joined, Lena pressed her skirts, Raoul, 66, clipped his nails, their streams flowing, their talk a tide of warmth. Care didn't just lift Tito, it brought him back to fishing, his tails sharp, his days clear. It's not vanity, he grinned, reeling a trout. It's me. I tried it, combed my hair, wore a clean vest. My steps light, eyes meet mine. Studies show grooming boosts mood 35%, draws friends 20%. Tito's not casting nets, but he's fishing, laughing, alive. His shop glowed that day, Lena's bait bright, Raoul's knots tight, their chatter a current of winds. Comment 1. If you're here, let's keep reeling. Story 3. The stubbornness that locked me out. Then there's Rosa, 65, who clung to old ways like a gate. I met her at a quilt fair, her stitches neat, her fabric bright, her voice soft but sharp, like a needle's prick. Rosa was a quilter, throws for kin, squares for fairs, her days a seam of color and care. She loved her landline, its ring a tie to kin, scoffing at texts, call if they care. But her phone stayed quiet, kids' voices gone, her world shrinking like a frayed hem. Just tradition, she'd sigh, threading a loop, her hands stiff. Her cousin, Paco, saw it, Rosa alone, her quilts unsold. He showed her his phone, buzzing with chats, her kids had moved on. The Pew Research Center says 70% of seniors miss bonds by dodging tech, gapping kin 45%. Rosa's classic way wasn't close, it was a bar, each ringless day a lock on her heart. She froze, her phone? Her wall? She'd thought old meant true, not distant. Rosa learned. She tried texting, slow thumbs, quick smiles, her kids' emojis a new thread. Her fare hummed again, kin called, friends gathered, her voice a stitch, not a snag. Thought I was cut, she told me, folding a patch, her grin wide. Just needed a new seam. Her crew joined, Paco taught apps, Clara, 68, joined chats, their quilts soaring, their talk a fabric of warmth. Tech didn't just link Rosa, it brought her back to quilting, her throws bold, her days full. It's not loss, she smiled, clipping thread. It's connection. I tried it, sent a text, got a laugh back. My nights glow, kin near. Research shows tech cuts isolation 40%, boosts joy 25%. Rosa's not coding apps, but she's quilting, chatting, alive. Her fare glowed that day, Paco's patterns neat, Clara's borders bright, their chatter a weave of winds. Drop a 2, if you're with me, let's keep sewing. Story 4. The hoard that buried my home. Paco, 67, thought his keeps were memory's vault. I met him at a flea market, his stall piled with trinkets, his hands sorting coins, his voice deep but heavy, like a box too full. Paco was a trader, finds for kin, deals for fairs, his days a trade of rust and shine. His house brimmed, papers from 80, sweaters unworn, mugs he'd use soon. He'd stack them neat, proud of his past, thinking they held him tight. But his floors creaked, guests balked, his world choking like a dusty crate. Just sentimental, he'd grunt, holding a ticket, his eyes dim. His niece, Sophia, saw it, Paco trapped, his stall quiet. She brought a minimalist, who said hoards cage the soul. The National Safety Council warns clutter risks falls 50% in seniors, clouds mines 30%. Paco's treasures weren't gold, they were chains, each pile a jab at his piece. He blinked, his stuff? His wall? He'd thought full meant rich, not heavy. Paco cleared. He kept one photo, donated crates, goods to shelters, space to him. His home breathed. Room for a chair, a lamp, kin's steps. Thought I was sunk, he told me, polishing a coin, his laugh full. Just needed a new deal. His market joined, Sophia tossed her nicks, Raoul, 70, his boxes, their stalls thriving, their talk a trade of freedom. Clarity didn't just lift Paco, it brought him back to trading, his finds sharp, his days open. It's not loss, he grinned, swapping a ring. It's room. I tried it, tossed old letters, kept one frame. My house airs, no weight. Studies show decluttering cuts stress 35%, invites guests 20%. Paco's not hauling antiques, but he's trading, smiling, alive. His market glowed that day, Sophia's vases bright, Raoul's tools neat, their chatter a coin of winds. Comment 2. If this hits, let's keep clearing. Story 5. The impatience that snapped my ties. Raoul, 69, let haste fray his bonds. I met him at a bakery, his tray full of rolls, his coat crisp, his voice loud but sharp, like dough overnetted. Raoul was a baker, loaves for kin, sweets for fairs, his days a rise of flour and heat. He'd snap at slow clerks, huff at late pals, proud of his drive, thinking it kept things tight. But his shop emptied, friends dodged, kin rushed, his world cooling like a stale bun. Just efficient, he'd mutter, slicing bread, his hands tense. His daughter, Clara, saw it, Raoul alone, his ovens cold. She took him to tea, saying his rush burned bridges. The American Heart Association links impatience to stress spikes 40% in seniors, straining hearts, bonds. Raoul's quick bark wasn't speed, it was a break, each snap a crack in his warmth. He froze, his temper? His wall? He'd thought fast meant strong, not harsh. Raoul slowed. He breathed before barking, smiled at delays, a clerk's fumble, a pal's lag. His shop warmed again. Kin lingered, trays sold fast, his laugh a soft need, not a punch. Thought I was crumbling, he told me, shaping a loaf, his grin wide. Just needed a new rise. His crew joined, Clara paused her haste, Tito, 72, eased his gripes, their ovens roaring, their talk a dough of ease. Patience didn't just calm Raoul, it brought him back to baking, his rolls golden, his days full. It's not rush, he smiled, dusting flour. It's rhythm. I tried it, waited a beat, grinned at a cue. My pulse steadies, pals stay. Research shows patience cuts tension 35%, draws kin 25%. Raoul's not needing tons, but he's baking, sharing, alive. His shop glowed that day, Clara's tarts bright, Tito's buns neat, their chatter a yeast of winds. Drop a 3. If you're here, let's keep rising. Story 6. The talk that drowned my ear. Clara, 71, thought her stories glued her close. I met her at a book club, her novel open, her glasses low, her voice bright but heavy, like a page overread. Clara was a reader, tales for kin, poems for fairs, her days a leaf of words and wit. She'd fill calls with yarns, her youth, her woes, proud of her wisdom, thinking it drew kin tight. But her daughter's replies shrank, friends' visits dropped, her world quieting like a closed book. Just sharing, she'd sigh, marking a page, her eyes dim. Her cousin, Rosa, saw it, Clara unheard, her club thin. Rosa urged her to pause, stories need ears. The Journal of Social Psychology says monologue cuts bonds 45% in seniors, signaling disinterest. Clara's gift wasn't connection, it was noise, each tale a wall to others' hearts. She blinked, her voice? Her block? She'd thought talk meant love, not distance. Clara listened. She asked, how's your day? Her daughter's words bloomed, friends leaned in, her club buzzed again. Pages turned, laughs shared, her silence a bridge, not a flood. Thought I was blank, she told me, reading a line, her grin wide. Just needed a new ear. Her crew joined, Rosa heard more, Paco, 74, asked questions, their books soaring, their talk a chapter of warmth. Listening didn't just free Clara, it brought her back to reading, her poems sharp, her nights full. It's not loss, she smiled, closing a cover. It's hearing. I tried it, asked a pal's news, held my tales. My calls lengthen, hearts meet. Studies show listening boosts trust 40%, deepens ties 30%. Clara's not reciting epics, but she's reading, connecting, alive. Her club glowed that day, Rosa's notes neat, Paco's plots bright, their chatter a verse of winds. Comment 3. If this speaks, let's keep turning. Story 7. the pride that pushed help away. Paco, 73, thought alone Harmonic Aging would be thrilled to share my tale, but I sense a wall, his refusal to accept help. I met him at a woodshop, his hands carving oak, his apron dusty, his voice low but firm, like a chisel's bite. Paco was a carver, bowls for kin, plaques for fairs, his days a grain of craft and care. He'd shrug off aid, a neighbor's lift, a son's fix, proud of his strength, thinking it held him tall. But his back strained, kin withdrew, his world narrowing like a shaved curl. I'm fine, he'd grunt, sanding a curve, his shoulders tight. His friend, Tito, saw it, Paco wincing, his tools still. Tito brought a therapist, who said pride isolates 50% of seniors, per the National Institute on Aging, raising fall risks 30%. Paco's solo stand wasn't power, it was a lock, a nail in his solitude. He froze, his stubbornness? His wall? He'd thought lone meant free, not trapped. Paco softened. He took a hand, a cart pushed, a roof patched, his shop warmed, kin carved beside him, neighbors sipped tea, his smile a polish, not a guard. Thought I was breaking, he told me, shaping a spoon, his laugh full. Just needed a lift. His crew joined, Tito took aid, Clara, 76, shared loads, their crafts soaring, their talk a grain of warmth. Help didn't just ease Paco, it brought him back to carving, his bowls deep, his days wide. It's not loss, he grinned, smoothing wood. It's together. I tried it, let a pal carry my bag, felt my back sigh. My home's full, kin close. Research shows aid cuts isolation 45%, boosts health 25%. Paco's not crafting thrones, but he's carving, sharing, alive. His shop glowed that day, Tito's signs neat, Clara's trays bright, their chatter a whittle of winds. Comment, 4. If you're here, let's keep shaping. Story 8. The thrift that starved my joy. Clara, 75, thought saving locked her safe. I met her at a yarn store, her skeins bright, her purse tight, her voice soft but pinched, like a knot too snug. Clara was a knitter, scarves for kin, shawls for fairs, her days a loop of wool and thrift. She'd skip trips, meals out, proud of her care, thinking it kept her secure. But her nights dulled, no laughs, no lights, her world shrinking like a dropped stitch. Just prudent, she'd sigh, winding yarn, her hands slow. Her son, Raoul, saw it, Clara dim, her needles still. He took her to a planner, who said frugality starves joy 40% in seniors, per the Happiness Institute, narrowing lives. Clara's safe grip wasn't wealth, it was want, a snag in her spark. She blinked, her purse? Her wall? She'd thought tight meant wise, not dry. Clara spent. She booked a tea, bought a dress, her shop glowed, kin hugged, friends toasted, her smile a weave, not a bind. Thought I was poor, she told me, knitting a row, her grin wide. Just needed a splurge. Her crew joined, Raoul dined out, Tito, 78, took trips, their crafts soaring, their talk a thread of warmth. Spending didn't just free Clara, it brought her back to knitting, her shawls bold, her days full. It's not loss, she smiled, tying a knot. It's living. I tried it, bought a meal out, felt my heart lift. My table's full, laughs loud. Studies show spending boosts joy 35%, ties 20%. Clara's not jetting globes, but she's knitting, shining, alive. Her store glowed that day, Raoul's hats neat, Tito's gloves bright, their chatter a yarn of winds. Comment, 4. If this hits, let's keep weaving. Story 9. The judgment that gapped my kin. Tito, 77, thought youth strayed wrong. I met him at a game night, his cards crisp, his glasses low, his voice sharp but weary, like a hand misdealt. Tito was a player, poker for kin, chess for fairs, his days a shuffle of wit and luck. He'd scoff at kids' screens, glued to junk, proud of his sense, thinking it kept him wise. But his grandkids dodged, chats died, his world folding like a bad draw. Just facts, he'd grunt, dealing a hand, his eyes dim. His daughter, Sophia, saw it, Tito alone, his board bare. She showed him a game app, kids loved it, he didn't. The Pew Research Center says judging youth cuts ties 50% in seniors, gapping hearts. Tito's truth wasn't bond, it was a bluff, each jab a fold on his kin. He froze, his scorn? His wall? He'd thought clear meant close, not cold. Tito played. He tried their apps, asked, why's it fun? Grandkids lit up, knights dealt laughs, his table full again. Cards flew, stories landed, his grin a win, not a cut. Thought I was out, he told me, shuffling a deck, his laugh full. Just needed a new game. His crew joined, Sophia tried trends, Paco, 80, watched streams, their plays soaring, their talk a deal of warmth. Curiosity didn't just link Tito, it brought him back to playing, his poker sharp, his days full. It's not loss, he smiled, raising a bet. It's learning. I tried it, played a kid's game, laughed hard. My nights buzz, kin near. Studies show openness cuts gaps 40%, boosts ties 25%. Tito's not streaming live, but he's playing, connecting, alive. His night glowed that day, Sophia's moves neat, Paco's bets bright, their chatter a card of wins. Comment, 5. If you're here, let's keep dealing. Story 10. The grudges that caged my heart. Sophia, 79, let old hurts chain her peace. I met her at a choir, her hymn soft, her scarf bright, her voice warm but faint, like a note off key. Sophia was a singer, tunes for kin, psalms for fairs, her days a chord of faith and grace. She'd cling to slights, a sister's spat, a friend's miss, proud of her, stand, thinking it kept her strong. But her songs dulled, kin drifted, her world silencing like a cut string. Just justice, she'd sigh, humming a bar, her eyes dim. Her pastor, Raoul, saw it, Sophia quiet, her pew lone. He shared a verse, forgive to free. The American Psychological Association says grudges raise stress 45% in seniors, harm hearts 30%. Sophia's, right, wasn't might, it was a lock, each memory a bar on her joy. She froze, her pain? Her wall? She'd thought firm meant free, not trapped. Sophia released. She wrote her sister, sang with old pals, her choir swelled, kin hugged, hymns soared, her voice a lift, not a weight. Thought I was broken, she told me, hitting a note, her grin wide. Just needed a new song. Her crew joined, Raoul forgave debts, Clara, 82, let go, their tunes soaring, their talk a chord of warmth. Forgiveness didn't just free Sophia, it brought her back to singing, her psalms bold, her days full. It's not loss, she smiled, folding a hymnal. It's peace. I tried it, called an old friend, buried a slight. My heart's light, talks flow. Studies show forgiveness cuts tension 40%, boosts health 25%. Sophia's not leading choirs, but she's singing, sharing, alive. Her choir glowed that day, Raoul's bass deep, Clara's alto bright, their chatter a harmony of winds. Comment, 5. If this speaks, let's keep singing. Story 11. The neglect that risked my days. Raoul, 81, thought aches were age's toll. I met him at a clinic, his cane steady, his coat neat, his voice low but weak, like a pulse too faint. Raoul was a walker, trails for kin, parks for fairs, his days a step of air and earth. He'd shrug off dizziness, blur, normal, he'd say, proud of his grit, thinking it kept him tough. But a fall cracked his hip, kin panicked, his world halting like a stopped beat. Just time, he'd grunt, rubbing his side, his breath short. His nurse, Clara, saw it, Raoul pale, his walks gone. She urged a scan, his pressure was high, ignored too long. The CDC says untreated issues spike crises 50% in seniors, cutting years. Raoul's tough stand wasn't strength, it was a cliff, each shrug a step to danger. He froze, his body? His wall? He'd thought old meant ache, not risk. Raoul acted. He took meds, walked slow, his clinic buzzed. Kin smiled, paths opened, his stride a rhythm, not a limp. Thought I was done, he told me, pacing a trail, his grin wide. Just needed a check. His crew joined, Clara got scans, Tito, 84, 8 greens, their steps soaring, their talk a pulse of warmth. Care didn't just save Raoul, it brought him back to walking, his trails clear, his days full. It's not loss, he smiled, tying a shoe. It's life. I tried it, got a checkup, caught a fix. My legs move, fears fade. Studies show checkups cut risks 45%, add years 20%. Raoul's not sprinting miles, but he's walking, breathing, alive. His park glowed that day, Clara's pace neat, Tito's strides bright, their chatter a beat of winds. Comment, 6. If you're here, let's keep stepping. Story 12. The gloom that stole my laugh. Clara, 83, forgot how to smile. I met her at a film night, her seat lone, her scarf dim, her voice soft but flat, like a reel stuck still. Clara was a watcher, movies for kin, shows for fairs, her days a frame of light and tale. She'd skip comedies, watch grim news, proud of her realism, thinking it kept her wise. But her laughs died, friends slipped, her world fading like a cut scene. Just life, she'd sigh, changing a channel, her eyes blank. Her neighbor, Sophia, saw it, Clara dark, her screen cold. She brought a funny flick, laughs woke her soul. The National Institute of Mental Health says joy cuts depression 40% in seniors, lifts bonds 25%. Clara's clear lens wasn't truth, it was a shade, each frown a fade on her spark. She froze, her gloom? Her wall? She'd thought sober meant deep, not dull. Clara chuckled. She watched gags, sang tunes, her night glowed. Kin danced, pals roared, her smile a reel, not a stop. Thought I was gray, she told me, humming a score, her grin wide. Just needed a laugh. Her crew joined, Sophia played jests, Raoul, 86, told gags, their shows soaring, their talk a frame of warmth. Joy didn't just lift Clara, it brought her back to watching, her tales bright, her days full. It's not loss, she smiled, popping a disc. It's light. I tried it, watched a comedy, laughed till I cried. My heart's up, pals stay. Studies show laughter boosts mood 35%, ties 20%. Clara's not filming blockbusters, but she's watching, shining, alive. Her night glowed that day, Sophia's plots neat, Raoul's lines bright, their chatter a reel of winds. Comment, 6. If this hits, let's keep rolling. Closing frame. Here's my reel for harmonic aging. After 60, loneliness isn't doom, it's a cue. Negativity, neglect, stubbornness, hoarding, impatience, talk, pride, thrift, judgment, grudges, health skips, gloom. They're not chains, they're nudges to shift. Clara gardens, Tito fishes, Rosa quilts, I'm here, pruning trees again, slower but singing. These aren't just tales, they're proof you can turn, connect, thrive. The Journal of Gerontology says mindset shifts cut isolation 40%, lift joy 30%. My orchard's quieter now, but my days are full, branches trimmed, suppers loud, life open. What's your next laugh? Share below, I read every word, and your stories keep this alive. Loved this? Hit like, pass it to someone who'd smile, and follow Harmonic Aging for more. Let's keep growing. What'll you try? Tell me.